But then my phone rings, and I'm like, how's my phone ringing if I turned my phone off? It was my dad. My dad and my sister, they were calling me back to back because something felt off to them. So I'm on the phone. My dad was like, DC, how are you? And I know my dad, like he was, we are talking about a Jamaican man, okay? Feeling in his spirit something is wrong with his brother. He's just trying to act normal because this is also new for him too. So he's like, hey, like, how you doing? How's your day? And I hear it in his voice, but I'm like zoning out, laid out in the middle of my living room.
Welcome to The Narrative, a podcast of untold stories, a place where silence is broken, secrets are unearthed, and stories find their voice. I'm Dr. Crystal Ann England, therapist, storyteller, and your guide for healing through truth. From intergenerational wisdom to identity, race, purpose, and power, this is a sacred space for the stories we were never taught to tell, but always needed to hear. Because healing begins when our stories are spoken. Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Crystal Ann England, and this is the Narrative of Untold Stories podcast. And today I am so excited. I have with me here Dr. Brown. Introducing Dr. Brown, first generation Afro-Jamerican and Doctor of Social Work. Dr. Brown is redefining how Caribbean communities approach mental health. With trauma-informed, faith-integrated care, she creates culturally grounded spaces for healing and helping people feel seen, supported, and empowered. She's also a private practice owner and just launched her private practice here in last August in New Jersey. So big up to the private practice owner. Dr. Brown. And I have to also share this. So Dr. Brown's going to talk, I'm sure, at the end, and maybe even some parts in the middle, about her summit that she created, which is, Dr. Brown, I want to make sure I say it right. What's the name of the summit?
Restored Hope Caribbean Mental Health Summit.
Yes. Dr. Brown is the one who created this summit, okay? For the people, which will be taking place in
Kingston, Jamaica, June
Yep.
27th, 2026.
Okay, my people. So if you are anyone really, because all of us are always in need of mental wellness support and knowledge and wisdom, then you should definitely want to be in the place. So if you are in Kingston, Jamaica, next year, June 27th, come grab your ticket, come into place, see Dr. Brown and myself in person, okay? And all the people.
Yes. Yes.
I just know that it's going to be an incredible, amazing day, and everyone who is in that place is going to walk away with probably so many gems. So I hope to see you guys there, okay? So let's jump into it, Dr. Brown, or Dr. B. Okay, here we go. How would you describe yourself, not by what you do, but by who you are becoming?
So naturally, I'm an introvert, right? And I'm very shy. Yes, everybody says that. Listen to me. If I'm in a crowd, I am immediately overstimulated. I'm like, get me out of here. But I'm coming out of my shell because I can't stay it in.
Yeah.
No, so I'm trying to be more social, learning new hobbies. Just discovered I love pottery and I love Pilates. Now Pilates is, it's stretching me, obviously because it's Pilates. But one of the things Pilates and pottery teaches me is how to trust my body and to get out of my head. So I try to just like engage in mindless activities. I love going to a good little winery. Love a spa day. Um, Family oriented. I love being around my friends, my family, having a good time, and just, I love food. Oh God, we can't forget food. I love
Good
food.
food. Yes.
Would cook food at that.
So
So,
what are you eating? What is your favorite thing these wait, so Dr. B, hold on. First of all, tell us, where are you located?
okay, so I'm originally from New Jersey. Right now, I'm in North Carolina, relocated here 3.5 years ago. Time really does fly. Um,
Wait, how are you liking that? Because
I love
Jersey
the South.
to
I
the
know.
south.
I know. I actually love the South. Not gonna lie. Tell people, listen, I personally, I'm not moving back up north.
No?
That's what airplane is for. That's what a car, even though I don't like long road trips. But if I need to hop on a plane, I'll hop on a plane. I'll go see the people there. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Do I miss my family? Of course. But I miss my nieces and my nephews. They are my world. All 8 of them. Miss my babies. But, when Akalisi comes on a plane, I get to see them. So.
But you're not, North Carolina is a place for you.
Yeah, it is. It's so peaceful. I discovered myself here. So North Carolina has a very special place in my heart. And when I say discovering myself, it has not been a linear process. There have been some high moments, but there have also been some valleys. A lot of valleys. But I discovered myself in the valleys. So
Do you think it was the peace? I mean, because sometimes I feel like when you're with family and friends, it's amazing and incredible to have support and the people that love on you, right? But when you find the courage to go away, you realize you're forced to realize all your strengths and your weaknesses, right? Because you no longer have maybe back home, mommy used to cook, and now you have to be cooking every day if you want good food. And you're like, oh, I'm actually not a bad chef. Look at me now, right? Whereas when you're home, you would never discover that because mommy's always cooking. You never had to, right? So, how do you think by trial and by fire, how did you learn the woman that you're becoming? Like, tell us about the peaks and the valleys.
oh, I realized I was addicted to people pleasing. Seriously, addicted to people pleasing. And all of that came from, the feelings of rejection, abandonment, and past traumas. So when I came here and I was trying to find like, officially, what do you actually like? Is that because this is something that you want to do or something that was forced on you and you just learned how to navigate through it? Like, oh yeah, I love this. Well, maybe you don't.
Yeah.
So and this sounds so elementary, but I even had to sit down with myself like, what is actually your favorite color? Like, I had to get
It
back to
was
the
like
basics.
that.
No, seriously, I had to get
Wow.
back to the basics because I'm like, your whole life, you were consumed with pleasing everybody else around you and you neglected your own needs.
Wow.
And that's what kept you in this cycle of shame, of fear, of rejection. No, you got to break out of that.
Was there a moment though, Dr. B, that it came to a head where you were like, something have to change? Like, was there a moment or was it a series of moments?
It was a series of moments, but there was this one
Okay.
moment. And I've shared this publicly. So January 13th, 2023, about 2.5 years ago, I had a failed suicide attempt. In my living room. I was by myself. Gosh, I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. I was by myself and I literally felt life leaving my body. And I remember turning my phone off. And this is why I tell people, like, you cannot tell me God is not real. I know I turned my phone off because I sent text messages to my family, like, hey, I'm so proud of you. I love you. Not letting them know, like, hey,
Yeah.
this is the last time you're going to hear from me, but just encouraging them. Um, but then my phone rings and I'm like, how's my phone ringing if I turned my phone off? It was my dad. My dad and my sister, they were calling me back to back because something felt off to them. So I'm on the phone. My dad was like, you see, how are you? And I know my dad, like he was, we are talking about a Jamaican man, okay? Feeling in his spirit something is wrong with his brother. He's just trying to act normal because this is also new for him too. So he's like, hey, like, how you doing? How's your day? And I hear it in his voice. But I'm like, zoning out, laid out in the middle of my living room. So after my dad calls and he calls my sister on three-way and I break down, I'm like, I just don't want to be here. Then another colleague of mine, she randomly called me. She was like, hey, like, I just randomly thought about you. And I told her what happened. She was like, it's one thing to have an ideation. It's another thing to have an attempt. You have to go to the hospital. And if you don't go, I am going to call to make sure that you get there. The hospital is right around the corner from my house. I was able to drive to the hospital and was in the BR for 5 days. Got sent to a psychiatric hospital for another 5 or 7 days. Both hospital lasts for 2 weeks. Mind you, this was the last semester of my doctoral program. I am in my room in the hospital, but because my friend will call me and tell me the assignment, I'm writing it in a composition notebook with a crayon. But when I get back home, take a picture, send it to the professor. So after being, and I had another failed suicide attempt, but that was like when I was a teenager. And I battled with suicidal ideation for my whole life. But there was something about the last time that really shifted something in me. And I'm like, you really cannot live for anybody else. You can't date. Like, you have to do what's best for you. So that was the pivotal moment of, really getting serious for setting boundaries and just like being unapologetic about it. Or like, of course, respecting other people, but not going back and forth with anybody about what we're doing right now. So I know that was a mouthful.
But Dr. Reed, the whole time you're talking, I'm just thinking like, how is life different for you now, right? After coming out of that situation and having to restructure and being like, no, I can't play about me anymore. Like, no more playing, like serious time now, right? How is your life different?
It's more peaceful, I will say, because if I tell somebody like, hey, this doesn't work for me, I know that it's coming from a genuine place so that I don't end back up in a cycle. I can't control how another person receives my boundaries.
Yeah.
Now, recovery after a suicidal attempt or a suicide attempt is not a linear process at all, because there's this weight, I guess, this guilt kind of like, okay, well, if a fault comes back up, your family, like, what's going to happen? I don't have that space to really talk to them about it freely because I know that they're going to be afraid. So, of course, talking about it in therapy, like when I feel the heaviness, like I'm able to identify, like, all right, if this heaviness comes, if I don't stop it now, it can spiral into something else. But I'd be lying if I say that I didn't have an ideation after that, because I did. It's just putting tools in place so that I don't get back there. So, and that's why even what you're doing with this podcast is so powerful, with like having people tell their stories, because you can see everything that a person does on social media, but you don't know what they're battling with behind closed doors. So I am human at the end of the day, and yeah, life just, it has its ups and downs. It really does. But it's important to have like a solid community around you where you can just show up and be. Well, I'm grateful.
Grateful for the tribe, right? And Dr. B, as you were telling your story about that, all I could think about is like the connection that you and Daddy have, that Daddy knew to, like, something in his spirit said he had to call his baby, right? That there was something there. And the fact that he was obedient and wasn't like, oh, I'll call her later, right? In his mind, he said, that he called you in that moment. And even your sister, right? That, how do you think these experiences now have made you maybe more aware, or even, I mean, because I know you've had, like you said, you've had situations in the past, but now from this particular incident, how are you able to connect with others who, you know, your clients who suffer from these things all the time?
Yeah. I think after this last time, it really made me more sensitive spiritually. Like, my discernment has been sharpened and refined, because it's like you can see it in a person's eyes when they're carrying a baby. Like, you can see it. And it's something that a textbook can't teach you. I just, a textbook cannot teach you that. A textbook cannot teach you discernment. It's genuinely a gift from God. I feel like it has also made me more compassionate and empathetic. Like, being able to sit with people in the mud. And it's like, if you're not ready to come out yet, I'm sitting with you. I'll hold your hand and I'm walking beside you. And you're walking in front of you. I'm walking beside you. So it's definitely me being compassionate, for sure.
And what do you hope that people who are listening will take away from your experience, your challenges with suicide ideation and the suicide attempt? What are you hoping that people will walk away?
It's okay to get help. And even for clinicians, like, because it's like, who provides for the provider?
Are we not exempt? The people I think we exempt. Hello, everybody. We are not exempt.
Not
okay.
exempt. Not
In
exempt.
fact, Dr. Brown, you know this. If anything, many of us are in this field because we got some shit.
That part.
We done seen some shit. We done been through some shit. And so,
yeah. Yeah. I really want people to walk away with, it's okay to get help and lean into your tribe. Like, lean into them. Because if you don't have the strength, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be strong all the time. Right? Like, your tribe is there to carry you when you ain't got nothing left. Let them do it, though.
What about the people, though, who don't have a tribe? Where do they go?
That's a good one. If a person doesn't have a tribe, get professional help. That's the first step, because you don't want to carry that mental, emotional, and physical weight by yourself. Too much. It's too much. And you'll learn how to trust your provider with time. And if it doesn't work for you, don't be afraid to say, I'm going to find a new one. You're not locked in, but get out.
And nowadays, right, like, that should be how we met, online.
On Threads. Oh my God. On Threads.
So this isn't like, in 1952 where you had to suffer alone.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how it is. It sounds like you have a good community of people, right? Like, you have a village, but, speaking for me, which is why I could say this, I don't really have, I don't want to lie. I have people. I have a village, kind of. But when I think about the really, really hard times I'm going through stuff, I got to wait every other week to talk to my therapist. There aren't people that I talk to on a daily basis. Like, I don't have a sister, right? My Wholeness brother is not the one. Ravi, Wholeness, right? I can't call Ravi and just like debrief about my day or my life or things that suck, right? Because he's just not emotionally available. And he and I talk about it all the time. He knows that. It's fine. And I think I'm at a place where I have to love and accept the people in my life that they can't show up for me. And I can either be angry and resentful about that, or I can say, this is the capacity. And right? So, which is why I asked the question for the people who don't have the tribe. And I think you're right. But I think it also requires putting yourself out there and finding your people nowadays, because social media is incredible. And all you have to do is show up. And there are lots of weirdos just like you waiting to meet you, right? Like, where are all my weirdos like me? I meet them online and I'm happy and I'm like, yes, my people.
No, it's true. But also, like, when it comes to having a village and a tribe, even if it's one person,
Yeah.
like, you don't need, it's not about like the quantity, it's the quality of the relationship.
So true.
Because especially when you have a particular, like, if people are naturally gravitating to you, they're like, oh, there's just something about you. Or, you know, you have a whole bunch of people that's pulling on you. Yeah, you could see plenty of people around you, but like, to your point, it doesn't mean that you feel safe enough to let your guard down and be vulnerable with them. Right. And that's also hard because it's like, well, damn, now I have so much people on the phone, I can't call enough to talk about something. What I'm doing? When a day.
How many times you pick it up and go like this?
Like, so
Okay,
no,
forget it.
seriously,
Just call it.
and that's true for a lot of people. It's true for a lot of people. So it only takes one person. So if you can find just somebody that you can connect with and feel safe with, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It's the quality
that.
of the relationship.
Quality over quantity. Y'all
Yes,
hear that?
ma'am.
Okay, Dr. B dropping gems. So, Dr. B, in your experience, what does healing look like then in real life, right? Like, not social media version, but the real messy, sacred process. What does that look like?
Yeah. I tell my clients this all the time. Healing is not a destination, it's a journey.
Tell the people one more time, come.
Healing is not a destination, it's a journey. You have to take it one day at a time because it doesn't look the same for everybody.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Like, healing can look like having a conversation with your abuser or setting a routine for yourself every morning.
Making your bed. Something as simple as
make your bed. Clean up your house. Wash the dishes. Like, but like I'm saying though, it's not a cookie cutter answer. Like, it really depends. It's something that comes from your heart, right? Like, what's a void that you have in your soul that you're filling with things that aren't eating? Remove the harm and put something healthy in.
Oh, I love that. Remove the harm and put something healthy there.
Yeah, like, and again, that could be anything. That could be walking away from a relationship that you know is damaging you. And it's not easy to walk away from a relationship, right? But it's necessary in some cases. It look like setting boundaries with family members, setting boundaries with friends, setting boundaries with yourself.
with yourself.
With yourself. To my
Simple things.
overthinkers, let's unite. Set a boundary with your thoughts. Set a boundary. Once you get the spiraling, it's over.
Well, you see, I feel like that's one of those things that we seldom do we ever talk about. Boundaries with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Which is a lot of the harm that people are having being done is to themselves.
No, for real. Yeah.
Right? And I always tell my clients this, that we allow from other people the amount of abuse that we allow from ourselves. And once someone goes too much above that, that's where we're like, oh no, now you disrespected. But if I disrespect myself and you come and let's meet me where I disrespect myself, I can tolerate it. Right? Because I'm like, So if I stop disrespecting myself, guess what? Other people can't disrespect me.
Murder. That's a gem.
So now what does that look like? Right? So Dr. B, how do we think about that in everyday life? So for example, right? if my overthinking is constantly, as I'm spiraling, I'm thinking, man, this month I didn't meet my financial goal. It's like I'm useless. It's like I'm worthless. Like, what did I even go to school for? I got this big old PhD. This don't make no damn sense. I'm not even intelligent. I don't even know what to do. Right? So I'm over here calling myself all these things. Girl, you're not smart. You're not really a businesswoman. You don't know how to take care of your financials. So now if my partner comes in is like, you're an idiot. You're right. Right? I'll let him talk to me like that because guess what? I've already spoken to myself that way.
With your
But if I don't talk to myself like that, you sure as hell cannot call me an idiot. Idiot who? Idiot what?
Idiot who?
Who?
No, seriously. Seriously.
But if I'm already calling myself all these things, when you come and you do it, I'm just like, you right. You right.
Yeah.
So next question for you. How do you honor both the parts of you that are strong and the parts of you that are still tender?
That's a journey. Oh God, that's a journey. I'm slowly learning to embrace. So if you don't have all the answers, then it's okay. Right? Like I think, and a lot of Caribbean women, he carry this weight of you have to figure everything out. And that's a generational response. Right? But it's not healthy. There are parts of it where, it's like you chew the meat and you spit out the fat, right? Like there are parts of it that we can embody, but the other parts is like once it starts to break your body down, you need to go sit down immediately. So when I don't have it, I try my best to not push myself. That's not identity.
Yeah.
Try my best. Because sometimes even, with ADHD, I can get fixated on a task and walking away from the task feels like the end of the world. Like if I don't do this now, it's never going to get done. So I gotta do some fast. I gotta breathe, get my weighted blanket, and go sit on my couch and mind my business.
But how did you even learn what worked for you?
I kept flashing. Like I got to a point where I was severely burnt out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Oidita, you can't live like this. You can't live like this. You can't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, trying to figure everything out in your personal life, professional life. No. But then, like, let's get deeper. I have to ask myself, like, what are you trying to prove and who are you trying to prove to? Because clearly there is a void that you are trying to fill with, like, being productive. Where's this coming from? Childhood wound. Feeling like I was overlooked and all of those things. It was like, no, I have to step up to the plate. Whose plate? What plate? Where? Whose plate? Whose standard? Whose standard? So I had to and talk about this with my therapist, of course, just learning to be okay with letting go of certain things. And letting go of something in one season doesn't mean that we won't be able to do it again in the next season. But every season has a purpose.
I love that. So just trying to be in this particular season, in this moment.
Yeah.
Without that pressure of feeling like you're trying to measure up, but again, for who, why, where. So how has your faith, your spirituality, your intuition, Dr. B, how has that guided you to your purpose?
Well, I struggled academically, elementary school, middle school, and high school. But now looking back, because I was diagnosed late with ADHD when I was 8. And I realized I'm like, okay, if I had other resources in place, like that probably wouldn't be an issue. But out of high school, I thought I wanted to be a nurse. Graduated high school, kind of like, well, I'm already a nurse, going to do that. One day I'm driving and I heard the Lord tell me, you want to be a nurse, the easier. I'm calling the social work. I'm like, oh, okay. Sure, sure. So that was, I want to say November. Was that November 2014? Or maybe it was like January. I think it was my last semester at Fairfield Community College. So I changed my major because I graduated with my associates in science and I was going to get my bachelor's in nursing on my major in social work. And I started my first social work class September 2015. And after that, I excelled academically. I mean, making on the games with all types of stuff. Right. Graduated with my bachelor's 2017 and literally started my master's 10 days after graduation. And this social work, it's like God ignited this passion for mental health. Now, at the time, and we gotta be discreet is how I say this, but at the time I was in a particular church I didn't necessarily believe in mental health. So I was conflicted. I'm like, if it was called to mental health, what happening? Right? How am I gonna fulfill this if you're telling me or if I'm hearing that this is not of you? So very, very confused. I'm praying, and the Lord is telling me like, this is what I'm calling you to. So, got my first job as a therapist at a community mental health agency in the Bronx in 2021. I was just evolved from there. And I remember being in my master's program. I was like, I would never do macro social work. I have no desire to do any of those things. And I looked at myself the other day like, girl, you are doing macro social work right now. Like, you are bringing communities together. You are doing it for natural. So, like, what? Like, come on. But it was just funny how the one thing that I swore I would never do, nagging. But even my journey as a therapist has been very different because a lot of my clients are spiritually inclined. So navigating through the complexities, like understanding, okay, it's spiritual reflection with natural reflection, and there's sometimes an intersection of both. So what does that look like? Um, but my purpose is still evolving. I don't know where that is gonna lead me. I'm just like, all right, have a little bit.
I, you know, Dr. B, two things came to mind as you were sharing that. And the first thing I'm wondering, because this is a question I always have, which is, so when God spoke to you in the car and you felt that message of your mother wants you to be a social worker, a nurse, this is what I want for you.
Mm-hmm.
How do people recognize, or at least how did you recognize the difference between the voice of the mind versus the voice of the spirit?
Yeah.
Of God? Like how does it happen for you?
There's this I call it a visceral reaction. Like when God speaks to me, like I feel it like deeply, like also in my body. Like I don't even have a word for it. It's just like it stops me in my tracks. Like, okay, all right, clearly this is what you want because I would never think of this.
I hear
Okay,
you, Father. Hear
I would never think of it. Actually came across so on iPhone you can have these notes or whatever. I came across a note from 2013. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have my BSN by 2017. Have my first kid here, move here. Like, I had it all laid out.
full
And
plan.
at that, ain't none of this happened because you are not a nurse. You're not a nurse. And it's funny because everything is full circle. I always had a desire to have a practice. I just thought I was gonna be a nurse practitioner. Like, well, you still have a practice. You're just a therapist. So it's, just a matter of, and it also takes time to learn, like, okay, God, is this you or is this me? Because I don't get it right always, right? But it just looks different from your student, depending on
Dr. B, when I think about like the difference, right? And I think it's probably slightly different for everyone, but I can absolutely relate. I think for me, when I feel that God is speaking to me, I feel it in my spirit, right? There's a difference. My spirit feels it versus is all the swirling,
right.
like all the patter, right? And there's also usually, I think, and this is why I say it might be different for everybody, because the Lord knows. My mother would always say that if God came, I would say, Lord, let me put my hand in your side so that I know that you are real. I don't believe nothing. Okay? So whenever God sends me something, there's also several times throughout that there's confirmations along the journey.
Yeah.
So sometimes randomly, right? I'll be in the supermarket. Some lady will walk up, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Lord, you're funny, don't. Right? Funny. Or I'll have a client who just come in with the very same thing. And I'm like, okay, God, I heard you. Right? And then randomly I'm somewhere else and something else happens. And I'm like, okay, God, all right. Gotcha. Loud and clear. Right? So I feel like because of the person I am, and God knows that I need multiple times of like reassurance.
No, seriously. Baby said, where is that again? You're sure you said that? You want to forgive me one more time, please? No, yeah.
Lord, how do I know that it is you?
No, seriously.
How do I know?
Right.
And so there's always a lot of situations that come that is no such thing as coincidence, because can't all these things be happening at once? That's no. The other thing that I heard, and it's okay if you don't want to talk about this, but if you do, I'm wondering about it. I feel like so many people, especially with spiritual gifts, are often in places that want to harness your energy in ways cloaked as religion. I hope I'm not being too cryptic, but are you comfortable talking about this? And if not, that's okay.
Yeah, I could talk about it. I'll just try to like modify.
Okay.
Because I wrote my doctoral research on this actually. So I'll talk about it.
As a person who is deeply spiritual like you, how are you now? Because it sounds like, and I don't want to put things together because I'm not entirely sure, but it sounds like, Dr. B, like you have come into now a different understanding of what it means to be a spiritual being. So I guess let's take it from that place. How or where do you express that spirituality for yourself at this phase in your life? What does that look like?
I think it honestly just happens in natural, like just in conversation. If I'm not, like I pray, I'm like, Lord, Jesus, I'm not trying to be spooky about this. I don't want to be spooky about this. But also, what's helped me refine is because I'm a Christian, like looking at spiritual gifts in the Bible in its proper context and how to steward the gift. I don't even want to say how to steward the gift well, but just like how to steward the gift in each season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what helped me navigate through it. Like, of course, people could say anything, but I really try to be diligent with consulting the Lord on, okay, you gave me this gift. How do you want me to use it in these spaces that you put me in? Like, how do you want me to use this gift when I'm advocating for a client? That's not going to look like me being on a call with, a policymaker speaking in tongues. No, I'm listening to God. Like, no, how can we change the system so that these people get what they need? So it depends. Excuse me. It depends on where I am. That's it. Like it just depends.
So wait, Dr. B, is that why? What made you create the summit? Was that born out of that feeling of like, how can I serve the people?
Yeah. So I was in Jamaica for my 30th birthday, and of course, having a good time. I'm like, I'm home. I feel good. Da, da, da. And then I felt the weight of trauma in the atmosphere. I felt it spiritually. And I'm like, you're not showing this to me for no reason. Like, what do you want me to do with this? And then it became like a burden. I'm like, hello? What are we doing? I'm just trying to go on the raft and mind my business. What are we doing? What are we doing? And when I came back, I was on a hunt. I'm like, okay, like there has to be some type of mental health organization engineer for that I can connect with. And God was just speaking to me and saying, I'm calling you to that region. They're back to your roots. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what that looks like. So it came through a lot of prayer. And one day I'm like, how about you just do a summit? I'm like, oh gosh, I've never seen anything like this. I'm like, God, is like, that's what you're saying? And did the summit. The inaugural summit was June 2024. Did it in North Carolina, and it was great. And after, I'm like, okay, yeah. At first, I thought like I'm gonna do it every year. We'll see. Like maybe I'll go to Brooklyn. Maybe we gotta pray. And the Lord said, "You're going back home to Jamaica." I said, "You want me to take this conference to Jamaica? How am I? How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that?" But He's been paving the way. Like I've been able to speak on different panels for mental health organizations in Jamaica. I've met a lot of clinicians in Jamaica. I spoke at a conference in Jamaica at UWI last December. So like He kept holding the door open, like make the connections. You have a place here too. So things just aligned, and there's been a lot of favor, and people have been supportive, and I'm grateful. So
And that's how you know. That is how you know that the Lord is calling you, because the Lord will open the window, the door, the air vent,
and top off the rules, okay? Blow
and
off the
all
roof.
you have to do is climb through, walk through,
Seriously.
and you're like, how did you do that, Lord? How did you stop? Ask questions, just walk, right? Like just
Literally just what, but then like not just connecting me with clinicians in Jamaica, but also connecting me with other Caribbean clinicians in the US, like how we met on Friends. And when I was praying about the speakers, like being led with who to reach out to. So reaching out to you was a no-brainer. I was like, I really feel like this is something. Okay. Like I really feel like this is something. But also, and I didn't even tell you this, but when we connected on Threads, I've been following you on TikTok for a while. I've been following you on TikTok for a while and then I remember watching one of your TikToks. I'm like, oh my gosh, you can literally be authentically Caribbean in the space of being a clinician. You can.
And that's what our people need.
That's what we need.
Because when you come and you tell me what auntie them saying, or I mean, I don't know about your grandma, Dr. B, but my grandma has been saying she's gonna kick the bucket for the past 30 years. Like, literally, if I were to call grandma right now, say, "Hi, grandma, how you feeling?" "Oh, Dada, I soon kick the bucket." Like, that's literally how she greets me, right? Every time. But if you talk to a non-Caribbean person who don't have melanin in their skin, they might be like, "Oh, we need to do a suicide assessment." No, that's just how we talk.
It's how we talk. That is how we talk. No, seriously.
Not everything require a suicide assessment. We just dramatic bad. We dramatic real bad.
Like when I say dramatic.
Listen. Right? But there's beauty in being able to understand our people, right? Like, so yes, the people need you in your
I
authenticity.
have to thank you, though, because you normalized that for me. You really did. On TikTok. On the people them TikTok.
But this goes back to community, Dr. B, right? Because I started that in the midst of the pandemic when I felt lonely AF. Yeah. And I was just looking for my people to talk about my parents, because between Jason and Stuarty, all they do is give me problems. They just love giving me problems, okay? Ravi, Jason, and Stuarty, problems. Just why I became a therapist, because my family is crazy.
No, seriously.
And that's the importance of, I think, this work that you're doing, Dr. B. And, you know, it never ceases to amaze my mind the way that God weaves everybody's timeline. Because when I tell you, people that I watch and I admire, and then they turn around and they say, "Oh, but I've been watching and admiring you." And I'm like, "But I've been watching and admiring you." It's like, I've been watching her. Yes, you.
Right.
How beautiful is it that we all can see our reflection in each other and be loved on and cared for without even realizing that we do. And which is why I think it's so important. People, our people. If you feel called by the Lord, by something is pulling at you to create, you need to do it.
Do it.
You need to do it.
Yeah.
Because Dr. B and I would not be sitting here if we weren't obedient in the calling. Okay? And that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because I'm sure, Dr. B, same for you. There's many a days I don't feel like creating nothing.
Not a thing. Yeah? Not a thing. Not a thing. Lord, turn off the phone. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like,
everybody leave me alone.
Leave me alone, please. But, you know.
But it's important that you are obedient, because the Lord gave you the gift. And if you have the gift, use the gift.
Use the gift. Use the gift.
So in closing here, Dr. B, let me ask you, what's one truth that you've learned about love, loss, or life that you want to leave with the listeners today?
When it comes to love, who is for you will align with you. And that's just not romantic love, but also platonic.
Yeah.
Who's for you will align with you. And aligning with you meaning they can stay with you in the valley, and they can stay with you when you are on the mountaintop. They will be every step of the way. And it's not transactional. It's transformational.
Oh, not transactional, transformational.
When it comes to loss, grieving is not a linear process, and it's okay to grieve. You can't put a timeline on when you're going to be over something. And I usually tell people, like, experiencing a trigger doesn't mean you didn't heal, but the intensity of a trigger will be forever. So you just have to let yourself go through the motions. Rather, it's uncomfortable, it's ugly, it doesn't feel good, but eventually it will work out for your good. And when it comes to life, live it. Live your life. Have fun. Go to the park. Jump up and down on your couch. Watch a cartoon. Like, be with family. Turn on some music. Bust out wine if you need to bust out wine by yourself. Have fun. Just, like, have fun. Go by the what. Like, do whatever makes you feel happy. Whatever brings you joy. Whatever brings you peace. Do that thing. And be unapologetic about it.
Unapologetically yourself.
Literally.
Yes. Dr. B, this has been so incredible from my heart. And I know that all the people them out there are going to be so excited to take away all the gems and the jewels and all the little tidbits and things that you imparted in this conversation. And I appreciate you so much. And so, guys, please, if you want to follow Dr. B, tell the people where can they find you? All the places. Get your pen, come.
So you can find me on Instagram, Dr. Chelece Brown. You can follow the Summit's Instagram, Caribbean Mental Health Summit. My website, chelecebrown.com, or the website for my practice, Restored Hope Counseling Center.com. The tickets for the conference is also on the website, my private practice website. So if you go on there, click on the events tab, and it will give you all the information that you need for the summit. LinkedIn, Dr. Chelece-Atavia Brown. TikTok, Dr. Chelece Brown. Yeah. That's where the people can find me.
Yes. So come on, guys. If you you want to be in the place next year, June 27th, 2026.
Yes,
right?
Here.
In Kingston, Jamaica. All the information, as Dr. Brown has stated, and I will also have it below for you, so you guys can find it as well in the links below. And do not hesitate to reach out to her if you're looking for services in New Jersey. So if you're looking for a Caribbean therapist, her private practice is now open and thriving and ready for you. And Dr. Brown, let me ask you, do you also do coaching?
I do.
In other places?
I do coaching.
That's important for the people to know.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, they're in Jamaica and they would like to have, life coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. All right. So you guys heard it here first. All right?
Yes.
Dr. Brown, I'm so grateful. So grateful. So much love.
This was a really good conversation.